Remember when defenders were warriors who'd rather break a leg than let a striker pass them? When tackles flew in like missiles and referees barely blinked? Now, look at today's game. Smooth passing centre-backs who look more comfortable with the ball at their feet than in a physical duel. So here's the question that's tearing the football world apart. Have modern defenders become too soft? Or have we just evolved into something different? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will change how you see every tackle, every clearance, every defensive masterclass from now on. Let's rewind to the 2000s, an era when defending was an art form painted in bruises and blood. This was the time of legends, and here's what made it beautiful: diversity. Not everyone looked the same or played the same way. You had the giants, Lilian Thuram, towering over attackers like a human wall; Jaap Stam, who looked like he could break you just by staring; Sol Campbell, a mountain of muscle who made strikers question their career choices. These men were built like Greek statues carved from granite. But then, in the same era, you had Fabio Cannavaro, 5'9", won the Ballon d'Or, captained Italy to World Cup glory. Carles Puyol, Lionheart, Tarzan of Barcelona, wasn't much taller, but had the heart of 10 men. Ivan Cordoba at Inter Milan, compact but absolutely relentless. These warriors proved you didn't need height when you had hunger. And somewhere in between, the elegant monsters, the Italians with their model physiques. Paolo Maldini, elegant as a ballet dancer, but deadly as an assassin. Alessandro Nesta, moving across the pitch like poetry in motion. Alessandro Costacurta, the intelligent partner who read danger before it even arrived, turning defense into pure calculation. They defended with their brains first, their bodies second, and made it look effortless. But here's what united them all. One sacred mission: defend, stop the attacker, at any cost. Your job wasn't to play pretty passes or start attacks. Your job was to make sure Ronaldo, Batistuta, Thierry Henry, or Andriy Shevchenko went home with nothing but frustration and probably a few bruises. Tackles from behind, common. Shirt pulling in the box, part of the game. Physical intimidation? That's just Tuesday. John Terry was throwing his body in front of shots, even when it meant a broken rib. Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic formed a partnership so solid that breaking through was like trying to walk through concrete. This wasn't just defending. This was warfare. Then something started shifting. Between the era of pure warriors and today's technical masters, there emerged a hybrid generation, a bridge between two worlds. Sergio Ramos. Remember him? The man had the ferocity of a 2000s defender, the technical ability of a modern one, and the audacity to score more goals than some midfielders. Giorgio Chiellini, who defended like it was personal, like every striker had insulted his family. Gerard Piqué, the Barcelona intellectual who could dissect attacks with his mind before his body even moved. And Pepe, the Portuguese madman who brought chaos and brilliance in equal measure, a defender who made strikers sleep with one eye open. These men carried the old-school mentality: defend first, destroy second. But they added something new: skills, ball control, the ability to play out from the back without panicking. They were fit, athletic, not just powerful. They could run for days in high-intensity matches because training had evolved, nutrition had improved, and the game was getting faster. They were the last of a dying breed. The final generation who could equally smash you in a tackle or play a 60-yard diagonal pass with laser precision. And now we arrive at today. And honestly, sometimes I watch current defenders and I have to ask, would they have survived 10 minutes in 2005? Look at Pau Cubarsí at Barcelona. 17 years old, technically brilliant, reads the game like a chess grandmaster. But put him up against prime Ronaldo Nazario, the real Ronaldo, with that burst of speed and power. Or Adriano, the emperor, who could shoot through walls. I'm not saying Cubarsí isn't talented. He is. But can you genuinely picture him going toe-to-toe with those absolute monsters? Dean Huijsen, at Real Madrid. Similar story. Composed, good on the ball, has all the modern attributes. But imagine him facing the Premier League in 2006, when Didier Drogba was bulldozing through defences, when Cristiano Ronaldo was at his explosive peak, and Wayne Rooney was charging through like a bull. Rooney himself said it best: "If I were a player in this time, I would have scored more goals." The defenders now don't know how to defend. They're soft. Would Huijsen handle that level of physical warfare? These young defenders look almost gentle, and that's not entirely their fault. But seeing them wear the shirts of Barcelona and Real Madrid, clubs built on the backs of warriors like Puyol and Ramos, it feels strange, uncomfortable even. So here's the million-dollar question. Are these defenders weak, or did we make them this way? Did football itself change so much that we don't need warriors anymore? To answer that, we need to understand what actually happened to the game. Because everything changed. And I mean everything. First, the rules. In the 2000s, you could tackle from behind if you got the ball. Referees let the game flow. Physical contact was expected, celebrated even. But football authorities decided safety mattered more than tradition. Tackle from behind? Red card. Aggressive challenge? VAR will review it frame by frame. Touch a player in the box? Penalty. The Premier League, once the most physical league on earth, now gives yellow cards for challenges that would have earned applause 20 years ago. The data proves it. Fouls have declined across Europe's top leagues, tackles are down, aggression has dropped by measurable percentages. Football has become, statistically speaking, less violent. Safer, yes, but also, many would argue, softer. Then came the tactical revolution, and one man's name towers above all others, Pep Guardiola. Guardiola looked at defenders and saw something nobody else did. Not just stoppers, but playmakers. He took Javier Mascherano, a defensive midfielder, and turned him into a centre-back at Barcelona. Why? Because Mascherano could pass. At Manchester City, he deployed John Stones in ways that made traditional defenders look prehistoric. His centre-backs don't just defend, they build attacks. They complete 90% of their passes. They move into midfield when needed. Compare that to the 2000s, when defenders like John Terry averaged maybe 20 passes per game, mostly clearances. Now, modern centre-backs attempt 50, 60, even 70 passes per match. They're not defenders anymore. They're the foundation of possession football. The formation evolved too. Rigid 4-4-2s became fluid hybrids, 3 at the back shifting to 5 at the back. High pressing, where the entire team hunts the ball like wolves. In the 2000s, you defended deep and hit teams on the counter. Jose Mourinho's Chelsea was the blueprint. Organised, structured, solid. Now, Hansi Flick's Barcelona presses so high that defenders are practically in the opponent's half. This demands different players. You don't need someone who can win every header anymore. You need someone who can play under pressure, who can receive the ball with a striker breathing down their neck and still find the perfect pass. Speed and endurance over raw power. Intelligence over intimidation. And the players themselves, they're athletic machines now. In the 2000s, Paul Gascoigne, Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho admitted to partying after matches. Nutrition was hit or miss. Training was less scientific. Players covered 8 to 10 kilometers per game. Today, Virgil van Dijk, William Saliba, Ruben Dias, they're covering 10 to 12 kilometers per match. They have personal nutritionists, sleep coaches, GPS trackers, monitoring every movement. They're taller, leaner, faster. Van Dijk is 6'4" but moves like a midfielder. This is what evolution looks like. But there's a cost. The game is so intense now, schedules so packed, that injuries have increased. Modern defenders play more games at higher intensity, with less recovery time. They're better athletes playing in a more demanding system. Something has to give. So here's where we stand. Football has transformed from a physical battle into a technical chess match. Defenders went from warriors to architects, from destroyers to creators. The 2000s gave us icons who embodied toughness, men who'd rather die than lose a header. But they played in a slower, more forgiving game, where mistakes could be fixed with a hard tackle. Today's defenders operate in a relentless system where one error means a goal because attackers are faster, smarter, and coached to exploit every weakness. They need different skills for a different game. Are they softer? Maybe physically, but mentally. The pressure they face, the technical demands, the scrutiny of VAR, reviewing every touch. That requires a different kind of strength. This is the truth nobody wants to admit. We can't have both. We can't have the beautiful brutality of the 2000s and the technical brilliance of today. Football chose evolution over tradition, safety over spectacle, intelligence over intimidation. And maybe that's okay. because watching someone like Saliba glide out from defense, beating a press with a perfectly weighted pass, creating an attack from nothing, that's its own kind of magic. Different from Terry throwing his face at a shot, but magic nonetheless. So here's my question for you. If you could choose, which era would you take? The Warriors of the 2000s, who made strikers fear for their lives? Or today's technical masters who turned defense into art? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you made it this far, you're a real one. Hit that subscribe button, because next time we're diving into something even more controversial. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.